let's say that we want to retrieve the error rate of an application. And that can indeed be very useful, because we can say, okay, if error rate during the canary deployment jumps over a certain threshold, if it reaches certain percentage, we might want to abandon canary deployments, or the other way around, if error rate is within certain limits, if it's relatively low, then we might be able to say, okay, this is safe, we might want to proceed. So how would we retrieve the error rate? Before I answer that question, let's see how would we first generate some errors. Luckily for you, the application Go Demo 7 is already done in a way that there is an endpoint that will throw random errors. So we're going to repeat a loop of sending 300 requests to our application, but this time, instead of invoking /version or whatever we did before, we're going to send 300 requests to the /demo/random error. That endpoint will produce random errors. So if I'm not mistaken, 1 out of 5 approximately requests will be an error. And we can see from the output that some requests are retrieving everything is still okay with version 0.2, while others are retrieving something somewhere went wrong with error at the beginning. So those requests starting with error are actually errors returned by our application. We did not really produce real errors, but the application is configured to throw random errors so that we can test our hypothesis and that we can try to figure out whether we can retrieve the information, how many errors we have from Prometheus. So let's go back to Prometheus and see how we can create a query that will satisfy our needs. So we're going to go step by step. Before we get to calculating error rate, let's first get the rate of requests in general, the summary of all the requests over some period of time. And limited only to the application Go Demo 7 primary. So to get that, we're going to specify that we want the sum and the rate of Istio request total, limited by destination workload Go Demo 7 primary, and reporter destination. And at the end, we put in square brackets 1m, which is short for 1 minute. So we're calculating the rate of the requests to our application over time. And we can see that we have some spikes. Especially if we go to graph, so click the graph tab if you're not there already, and you will see that there are some spikes which reflect the periods when we were sending requests in a loop. So we can see that in the past we had some number of requests and then nothing, because there was a pause between those two loops. And now when we sent another 300 requests, we have another spike of those requests. Now ignore the total number, which says 3.5 something. The absolute numbers are not really what matters. Relative numbers and percentages are what really makes a difference in our calculations. Now we know we can output the rate of the requests. But what we're really interested in, more likely, is to get the rate of the requests that responded with an error. So we're going to modify our query by adding another filter, which is response code different than 5.0 asterisk, meaning that different than whichever response code starts with 5. Or in other words, we're going to retrieve all the requests with the response code that is not in a 500 range, which is error range. Or to put it yet in other words, we're retrieving now only the responses, the requests that did not throw an error. So the total requests that were not errors are obtained by adding another filter, response code different and then different than 500 range. Now that we know how to retrieve non-errors, we might want to divide that number with the total number of requests, and that should give us an error rate. So non-errors divided with all the requests should give us the percentage of requests that throw an error. So our next query will use the same, will start the same as the previous one, and then on top of that we are going to add divide with the summary rate of all the requests for that application. So we have summary rate of all the requests of non-500 requests divided with summary rate of all the requests. And now we have a much more meaningful output in our graph. There are a couple of situations. First, there are periods with no line at all, nothing. That's the period where without any request. That's the pause between sending two different batches of requests. So we had period with no requests, and then the graph is empty in that period. And then until the very end, all the time that we were recording some requests, the result is 1, which is equivalent to 100. So all the time until the very end, our result is 1 or 100, meaning that 100% of requests were without errors. And then at the very end, that percentage dropped. So we can see that the percentage of non-error requests started dropping with that batch or the loop that we use to send requests with error. And if that percentage drops from below a certain percentage, let's say that we can calculate that everything is good as long as the percentage of non-error requests is above 99.5%, just to say something. Now the exact percentage will differ from one case to another, but now we have a clear number, a clear drop in non-error request rate that is captured through the last loop when we intentionally send some errors to our application. Thank you for watching this clip. I hope it was useful. If it was, you might want to consider getting Udemy course, Canary Deployments to Kubernetes with Istio and Friends, because this clip was taken from there, and if you're interested in that subject, you can get much more information and knowledge about it, about Canary deployments. In that course, you will find the link in the comments section before. And if you like this video, you might want to click subscribe button, you might want to like it, click the like button, and I hope to come up with a new video very soon. Thank you so much.